Hello, my people. How are you doing? Just watched an interview with Heather and Brett Weinstein. I think it's not Heather Weinstein, but it's Brett Weinstein. And believe me, I do not agree with Brett, more with Heather. I agree more with Heather than Brett, but there's a lot of times I do not agree with Brett. I'm glad that they came through this past 4 years and their eyes were opened, at least towards this, pandemic. So today in this interview, and I will put it on the bottom in the description box, they talked about the Israeli border, how it was not secured during the time of the attack. Please watch the video. Again, I don't agree with it all. You need to, critically look at these things and listen to these people, not just throw them out. What he says basically is always asking the question, was there a connection, between these unsafe borders that supposedly were so good, right? The security was so good in Israel, and all of a sudden it failed, and the soldiers were not there even during a celebration, Yom Kippur War, that really required even more security than ever before. And even when you have like this big event close to the border. And he's also reminded of what happened during this pandemic in Israel, how Israel was the country that was highest vaccinated. And so the Jews were really used as guinea pigs, and who cared about the Nuremberg arrangements. And I said that during that time as well. Why are the Jews again being used mainly, mostly as guinea pigs for this new vaccine? And that's what he said. He was questioning this. Is there a connection between the two? Well, I think the connection he kind of addressed, and it's, of course, in the government. It's the corrupt government who allows these draconian instructions, let's say instructions or enforcement, okay, which it was enforcement. Like in every country, people were forced to take this vaccine. And I think more so in Israel, as I really followed what happened over there. And again, I mean, should have been at least the Jews been exempt from being again put under this, being used as guinea pigs. But I guess it doesn't matter because they are not exempt from being used as slaves by, should I say the globalists? I don't know what word I should use. Shadow government. Of course, the shadow government is a globalist government. The elite, and make no mistake, Israel is bound down to the elites, to what I call this hierarchy of power. I have explained that in my previous videos very clearly, that Israel is part of the beast system. And my videos are about end times and about end times prophecy. And how is Israel part of end times prophecy. Everybody thinks, Ezekiel 37, which I explained last time, and people again said, oh, Ezekiel 37 and Ezekiel 38 took them together. No, they don't belong together. They don't belong together at all. Well, in a way, yeah, there is, but 37 is not Gog and Magog war. It is a millennium. And so how is Israel fitting right now? This Israel today, fitting in end times, it does not. Israel is a created state by the elite. Should you say, of course, there was a contract with Britain, but there were contracts before. The Zionists were dealing before with other people to bring this about. Like I just learned about the Havara. It's not Havara. It's Ha'avara. Contract that the Zionists made with Hitler. Ha'avara. That's what it is. Long before they established the actual land, the Palestinians or the Zionists were already in Palestine and tried to establish a land for them, for the Jews. And he was explaining, one of the videos I watched was explaining, I can see if I can find it again, that there were division between the Zionists and the Orthodox Jews. The Orthodox Jews did not believe in establishing a country because that is not biblical. Haven't I said that before? But the Zionists kind of did win because they had the backing of the rich, of the elite. And of course, follow the pyramid of power. The elite is not the top of the pyramid. Of course, Satan is the top of the pyramid, or what we call today aliens. Okay? That's what we call them today. The aliens on top. And who's underneath the aliens? It's the Vatican. But Vatican is in the shadow. Again, shadow government. Okay? Who is really the shadow government? So then, under the Vatican, of course, you have the Jesuits, and the Jesuits infiltrate in everything, and the Pope or the Vatican is using the money system. He gives power to the money system, to the bankers. He has these bankers organize things, like, for instance, our Federal Reserve. It's all an idea. Came from someplace. Oh yeah, the bankers. No, the bankers did it because they got rich through it. But where did the idea come from? Again, if you read Charles Chiniquy, you can see how the Catholic Church infiltrated in the banking system. So again, Charles Chiniquy, I brought him up so many times. Look him up. 50 years in the Roman Church. So all this is absolutely connected. And so then where does Israel fit? Well, Israel fits within the globalist system because they are part of the globalist system. They're being used by the bankers, by, of course, papacy to rule the world, by Satan to rule the world. They are not put there by God. According to prophecy, they are to wait until the Messiah comes. They don't believe that Messiah is already here or was already here. They don't believe that. The Orthodox Jews don't believe it. They reject Messiah, of course. But they're waiting for their Messiah. Of course, their Messiah, going back to the videos that I just previously made, is a military leader, right? That takes over everything and defeats the enemies of the Jews. Now, when you listen to these documentaries about this Ha'avara, I think it's Ha'avara. Let's see, I need to look it up. I think it's Ha'avara. Sorry, trying to get it. Where was it? Ha'avara, here. Ha'avara agreement. Okay, Ha'avara agreement. He said that, well, the Zionists did not want to wait for that Messiah. And I have said that forever as well. See, the Jews didn't want to wait, and I said Jews, but it's the Zionists. They didn't want to wait for Messiah to come and establish the country. No, They wanted to do it themselves. They wheeled and dealt with the world to get that country. Who was it? It was really specifically in connection with the Rothschilds, because there were other people that lived there during the First World War, and I think his name is Herzl. I don't remember 100%, but I think it was Herzl. That was one that had that idea. You know, when you study Lawrence of Arabia, it comes out pretty good. And I think that's why I got this whole idea about what was going on with the Jews that lived there. And of course, during that time, Rothschilds had a lot of land there, okay, land. And they bought the land cheap, you know, from the Palestinians. Okay, they bought the land cheap from the Palestinians and then turned it into, you know, what we have today, Tel Aviv. So there's a lot of historical things that most people don't even know about. And yet we're screaming, oh, this is the country that God gave to the Jews, and we misquote scripture just to justify it, or at least the Jews do that, and, you know, the Christian Zionists. But what we're doing is we're deceiving the Jews. We're really misleading, or these people are misleading the Jews. This is exactly what we're having today. Brad was asking the question, you know, I mean, do the government of Israel even have the interest of the Jews in mind? Or again, that's what I'm asking. Are they again being misused? Are they again being misused for the dirty work of some globalists? I'm going to use it. I hope I can use that word, you know, on YouTube. Okay? I mean, I have to use some name. Some people, again, say elite or whatever, but you understand, if you understand the pyramid of power, you know what I mean. And therefore, Israel is part of this beast system. Again, the beast out of the sea, which is Europe. Okay? No doubt. And when the beast out of the sea, one of the heads was injured, the beast out of the earth had to step in and make sure it is protected during the time it was wounded. And that time is coming to an end. But we can see that the United States is that beast out of the earth. They stepped in, they kept military power since the Second World War. And they were the warmongers. They were the ones that made the war for this elite group, for this pyramid of power. Again, should I say the Vatican? Okay? Because it's the Vatican's interest, because he works directly for Satan to bring about A world government. And yeah, that's global, right? That's global. A world government. And Israel is only a part of that system. And the people are being deceived. Not only the Jewish people, but also the Zionist Christians. Deceived. Again. Okay, again, I'm going to bring that slogan, never again. And I know people understand that slogan, never again, which the Jews said after the Holocaust, or the whole world said after the Holocaust. And what's happening again? No, it's not never again. It's again. It's again. Again, the Jews are being set up to be sitting ducks. In a small little country, okay, they are being sitting ducks. But again, it's their doing too, because they continue to reject Messiah. They continue. I understand. But again, I feel for them. I feel for them. And just like God feels for them and says, I called you and called you and called you. Like a mother calls her children. And you didn't listen. You didn't listen. Jesus said that. I don't remember exactly where it is. You can find it. If you know the Gospels, you know when Jesus said that. That God calls them all the time. He wants them. He wants them so desperately. But people, only when they turn around and change will they be saved. Before that, they will be deceived. They will die. Just like the people in the Holocaust, they died. Okay? And I'm not going to talk about the Holocaust today because then I'm going to get in trouble. But this Ha'avara, I think that's what it's called, Ha'avara. Ha'avara agreement. During this Ha'avara agreement, 60,000 Jews were actually saved by Hitler to go to Palestine. 60,000 Jews less that were destroyed supposedly during the Holocaust. Nobody talks about that one. Nobody talks about, the things that Hitler did for the Jews. But anyways, that's something you need to check it out. You need to check it out, people. The true history of the Third Reich and the Second World War, because we don't get it. We don't get the true history. Okay? We don't get the true history. Again, we have 60,000, that's a kind of an odd number, right? They say 50 to 60,000. But anyways, again, I wish that this video would also go to many Jews so they wake up. They wake up. I want the Jews, it's my greatest desire, just like it is God's desire, that they will recognize Messiah and wake up. There is very, very little time left for them to accept their Messiah, and they will not do it, I know, as a nation, but as many as accept him, that's how many will be saved and part of the bride of Christ. As many as accept him. And then during the wrath of God, they still have a chance, and I said that in my last video, still have a chance to recognize him and avoid the mark of the beast, and then be able to be resurrected and live, as God's people in the area around the New Jerusalem. Watch my last video, because I said it in my last video. I don't want just people, I want all people to wake up, including the Jews, because the Jews need to wake up more than any other group. More than any other group. Need to wake up and see what's going on. They have been deceived in their own, is it their own country? They think it is their country, but that country is not even free, because they have a government in there that's working for the elite. Come on, people. Wake up. Wake up. And again, there's so many people that support Israel. Oh, bless Israel. No, what part of Israel do they bless? What part of Israel do they support? The government or the people? The people. The people are Jews. They're not, they are Israelites, but they're Jews, really. They're from the tribe of Judah or Benjamin. But the state of Israel is not there in the interest of the people. If they were there, they would have not done what they did during the pandemic, and they would have not allowed what was happening just not too long ago with this attack. But they did allow it. And now we're all screaming about, or everybody's screaming, not me, about Hamas, how bad Hamas is, blah, blah, blah. But yet, why were they even allowed to do what they did? If Israel is that great and they have such great security, why? That's what my question is. Hey, I'm coming to an end. Watch this video by Brad and Heather. Again, don't think I'm following them. They are not Christians. I think they are actually Jews. Watch it. And again, I don't agree with Brett all the time. Most of the time, I don't even agree with him. But he has some good stuff once in a while. Let the Holy Spirit guide you.